Good morning, children. Welcome back to English online class of Sri Gokulam Public School, Guruvayur. I hope you all are doing great and staying safe at home. Yes? Okay, then let's start our today's session. Today we'll discuss the topic verbs. It is a sixth chapter from your grammar text. So we'll discuss what are verbs and its main classification, main verbs and auxiliary verbs. Okay, then without much delay, let's move to our topic, verbs. Children, we human beings are constantly in action, isn't it? We are always engaged in some or other sorts of activities. We cannot live or survive without doing any activity or without performing an action, isn't it? Yes. So what are verbs? Verbs are action words, the words that denote action. This is a basic definition that you have studied about verbs right from your lower classes, isn't it? Yes. But as you move to higher classes, you have to analyze the verb in detail. You have to study the verbs, the topic verbs in detail. So let's analyze the verb in detail. Let me give you some examples first. The first example, Sriya bought a laptop yesterday. He is an engineer. Kolkata is a thickly populated city. She has a car. I have a collection of stamps. Children, can you identify the verbs in these sentences? In the first sentence, Sriya bought a laptop yesterday. Which is a verb in that sentence? It is bought. Bought is a past tense of buy. So what is the activity did by Sriya? She is buying. Buying is the activity. So bought is the action word. And Sriya is a subject. What the sentence talk about is called the subject. So the subject here is Sriya, and here we are telling what the subject is doing. In the first sentence we are telling what the subject is doing. Here the subject is performing an action. She is buying. So bought is the action word. Look at the second sentence. He is an engineer. In this sentence, which is a verb, is there any action word? No, it is is. Is the verb in that sentence. Let's look at the other example. Kolkata is a thickly populated city. Here, is there any action word? No, again it is. So, is tells what the subject is, what someone or something is. It tells the condition of the subject. It is a horror movie. Again, I have used is. There are no action words. But still is the verb in that sentence. We cannot frame a sentence without verbs. A sentence will not become complete without a verb. So you have to use verb in order to frame a complete sentence. Now let's move to the third type of examples. I told she has a car. In this, which is the verb? Has is a verb. There are no other action word. Here has denote what the subject possesses or what the subject owns. What is possessed by the subject. Here what does the subject owns? It is car. She has a car. So subject means what the sentence is talking about. Here we are talking about a girl or a woman. That's why we use the pronoun she. She has a car. Or another example I told you. I have a collection of stamps. Here which is the verb? It is have. Here again have denotes what I possess. What is possessed by me. What is owned by me. So children, did you notice that the verb in these sentences has different functions, right? In the first sentence, it tells an activity, describes an action performed by the subject. Subject can be noun or pronoun. So in the first sentence, subject is a noun, Sriya. In the second and third examples, the verb tells what someone or something is. It tells us the condition of the subject. In the next two sentences, what I told, in that the verb tells or the verb describes what is possessed by the subject. That's why we used has and have. Has and have is used to denote what is possessed by the subject in these sentences. I hope you understood how to identify verbs and the different functions of verbs, isn't it? So verbs are not just action word. It also describe what someone or something is, and it also describe what is possessed by the subject. Okay children, I hope it's clear to you. Now let's move to the classification of verbs. Verbs is broadly classified into two. They are main verbs and auxiliary verbs. Main verbs are those verbs which can express its meaning independently, and it tells us what the subject does, feels or is. They may not depend upon other verbs to express its meaning. They can stand independently and express its meaning. For example, read, write, drink, dance, eat, all these are verbs. Let us use some verbs in sentences. For example, she lives in Mumbai. Here which is a verb? It is lives. He saw a movie yesterday. Here which is a verb? Saw. Can you identify any other verbs in the sentence? No. So verbs, these verbs are main verbs and they can stand independently to express its meaning. Let us see some more examples. Shakespeare wrote Hamlet. Here which is the verb? It is wrote. They fly kites. Here which is a verb? It is fly. He speaks German. Which is a verb in the sentence? It is speaks. So all these are main verbs and they can stand independently in order to express its meaning. So I hope you understood main verbs, isn't it? So let's move to the auxiliary verbs. Auxiliary verbs are also divided into two. They are primary auxiliaries and modal auxiliaries. The primary auxiliaries are be forms of verb, that is, am, are, was and were. Do forms of the verb, they are do, does and did. Have forms of the verb, they are have, has and had. So primary auxiliaries, we have do forms, we have forms and be forms. Okay. So is used with singular subjects. Are is used with plural subject. For example, Diljit is a good student. He is a hardworking student. Here it is a single person. I am referring to a single person. So is used with singular subjects. Are, we are Indians. Here we used are with we. We is a plural subject. Next, cows are domestic animals. Here I have used a plural noun, cows. So I used are. If I say just cow, we have to use only is. Cow is a domestic animal. And next, am. Am is only used with I. I am a teacher. I am older than you. So I am teaching English. So here am is only used with I. Next, was and were. Was and were, it is used in past tense, and was is used with singular subjects, whereas were is used with plural subject. For example, I was a student of SN Vidyabhavan. Example for were, they were sleeping. So they is a plural subject. That's why I used were with they. I hope you understood the be forms of the verb. Next, we have do forms of verb. Which are the do forms of verb? Do, does and did. Do is used with plural subject and pronouns like I, we, you and they. For example, I usually do my homework in the evening. We do a lot of rehearsals. They do not know the answer. See, I have used do with the pronouns they, with we and I. Now let's move to the does. Does is used with singular subject and pronouns like he, she and it. Abhinav does his homework regularly. She does not waste her time. My brother does not like economics. See, I have used does with singular subjects. When I am referring to a single person or a single thing, then I use does. And do is used with plural subject if I am referring to more than one person or one thing. Okay. Now last one is did. Did is the past form of do and does. For example, the child did not sleep well last night. Did here, it is already a past activity. The child hadn't slept. So I am telling about you referring to a past activity. So if I want to refer to a past activity, I have to use did. Okay. I hope you understood the do forms of the verb. Next we have forms of the verb. Which are the have forms of the verb? Have, has and had. Have is used with plural subjects and pronouns like I, we, you and they. For example, soldiers have to be alert always. Here which is the subject? Soldiers. I am not referring to a single soldier but all the soldiers. So when I use soldiers, I have to use have. We have to obey the traffic rules. Again, we is a plural subject. Here which is the subject? We, and it is a plural subject. I have a scooter. Even though I is referring to a single person, in grammar I is considered as a plural subject. That's why we use have with I. I have a scooter. Next we have has. Has is used with singular subjects or pronouns like he, she and it. She has a necklace. He has a car. See here, she and he is a singular subject. Our singular subject, so I used has with these singular subjects. Next we have had. Had is a past form of have and has. They had a house in the city. That now they don't have house in the city. They had a house in the city before. She had her lunch an hour ago. That means she had eaten her lunch an hour before. It is already a past activity. That's why I used had. The next subdivision of auxiliary verbs are modal auxiliaries. Modal auxiliaries are used to express the mood of the speaker, that is the state of the mind of the speaker, and it is used to express possibility, probability, then certainty and obligation, duty, etc. And the modal auxiliaries are will, would, shall, should, may, might, can, could, must, dare, etc. We will meet you at the station. Here, which is a verb? It is meet. Meet is a main verb. And can you find any auxiliary verb? Yes, it is will. So, will is the auxiliary verb and that too modal auxiliary. Another example, we must not speak lies. Here, which is the main verb? It is speak. And which is the auxiliary verb? It is must. That too modal auxiliary. And you will study more about modal auxiliaries in the next chapter. So we are not discussing much of this topic now. I hope you understood how to identify auxiliary verbs and main verb in sentences, in the given sentences. So let's do the textual exercises now. All of you open your textbook, grammar textbook. Take chapter 6, verbs. The first exercise, exercise A, in that they have given you a passage and you have to identify the main verbs or the auxiliary verbs in those sentences. So look at the passage. Don Quixote spent almost all his time in reading stories of knights and their daring deeds on battlefields. So in the first sentence, which is the verb, it is spent. Second sentence, one day he said to himself, why should I always be a plain farmer and sit here at home? In the second sentence, it is said. Then we have the modal auxiliary should and the main verb sit in the second sentence. Similarly, you have to identify other verbs in the passage. You have to underline all the verbs. Let it be a primary auxiliary or modal auxiliary or the main verbs. Okay. Now let's move to the second exercise, exercise B. You have to replace the underlined words with verbs from the box. Look at the first sentence. Father gave support to me to apply for the scholarship for my higher education in California. So here they have underlined the word gave support to. You have to find out an equivalent word from the box to the underlined word. Gave support to. You can give encouraged. You can select the word encouraged. Second one, I went on to fill in the form and send the application. Here they have underlined the word went on. So which is the equivalent word that you can select from the box? It is proceeded. Similarly, you have to do the rest of the exercises. Now, let's move to exercise C. Fill in the blanks with the correct forms of the verb given in the box. First sentence, Mani and Tara were dash back home from school when they dash a whimper. How can you fill in the blank? You can say Mani and Tara were walking. Walk, you can find the verb walk, but you have to use walking. You have to add ing to walk, only then it will be a complete correct sentence. Walking back home from school when they heard. Heard is the next blank. Heard is the next word that you have to fill in the second blank. I hope you understood how to do the textual exercises. So complete all the three textual exercises A, B and C. Okay children? I have attached some notes. You have to copy down that in your English notebook. That too at the back side of your English notebook. You have to copy all the notes given today in your English notebook. I have to see it in your English notebook. And the grammar exercises you can write in your grammar text itself. So I hope you understood today's topic clearly. That's all for today. Let's wind up the session. See you in the next class.